Hello everyone and welcome back to another Bimmer fixer video. And in this video I'm going to be repairing my wing mirror cover. It's had a dodgy repair I think in the past and it's failed and it looks really scabby, lets the car down, bugged me ever since I've had the car. So in this video I'll teach you how to take that cover off, rub it down, prep it and everything, and then we'll paint it up. This will work for other bits of trim as well. In fact, there's a bit of trim on the bonnet which I'll do in a later video. It'll be a similar process to that, just obviously taking the bit of trim off and things will be slightly different. So for this you'll need obviously your colour, the paint colour. This is Causeway Grey. What is the paint code on that if you've got one? 950. I don't know if that's a generic paint code or if it's just for this company, but yeah, Causeway Grey is mine. Primer, plastic if you can because it allows for flexibility, and some clear. We've got some degreaser as well, or you can use a tack cloth. If you're doing it in a shed or garage or not very well ventilated, make sure you've got a decent mask. You probably hear the boilers just go on, the other half's having a shower. Yeah, so make sure you've got a mask if it's not very well ventilated, or try and get it as well ventilated as you can. We've got some cloth and a assortment of sandpaper, wet and dry. So this pack from Halfords was about £6. It's got 240, 400, 800 and 1200. I don't know if we need the 240, but we'll probably definitely need the 4, the 8 and the 1200. We've got a heat gun as well to help hurry things along. If it's really cold when you're doing this, you can do this to kind of make the cans slightly warm. Just be careful, it's an aerosol, but you can kind of take the chill out of the can, which always helps the paint and drying. And some gloves as well if you want them. So that's pretty much what you're going to need there. What I'll do now is I'll show you the mirror itself. I'll show you how we're taking it off, and then we'll prep it and so on and paint it, and then hopefully get it back on. Okay, so this is a closer look at the wing mirror cover itself. As you can see, at some point it's had a repair and the lacquer's started to fail on it. So what we're going to do, we're going to pop this cover off. Looking at the workshop manual, we should be able to hopefully get a trim removal tool in there. So obviously, yeah, sorry, forgot to mention in the intro that you need a trim removal tool. But we're going to try and get something in there. We're going to lift the top forward and then hopefully the bottom will pop up. But hopefully we should be able to get enough on that. What I've done is I've folded the mirrors in, or I've locked the car so the mirrors have gone in, just to try, kind of give us a bit more all-round access to the side there as well. So what I'll do, I'll set you up on the tripod and we'll try and get some trim removal tools in there and get this popped out. Okay, I had to pop it off camera, so to speak, because I couldn't get the angle as well as the camera in there at the time to pop it off safely. But all you have to do really is, if you come in this corner here, pop your pry tool in there, and it helps you can get another one in at the other end, and just give it a slight lever. Be gentle. You do need quite a bit of force, but it will pop off, just be careful. And in this cover, because then obviously all we can do is just remove it like that. In this cover here, you've got a little recess which allows you to get a tool in there, and you've got a few clips and things inside. Just make sure they're not all broken off, but I think all mine have survived. Just I've got a slight bent one there, but I think we're all good. So while it's off, give it a bit of clean up as well if you like. But what we'll do now is we'll start prepping the colour for paint. Okay, so what we'll do first is we will just give it a slight degrease. Just gonna kind of get rid of any polish or wax or anything on there. Okay, any bug splatters or anything. So I was in two minds about the 240, but given the actual state of it, I think it's going to be advantageous, especially on this top bit, just to go with 240, and then we'll take it down from there. So what we'll do is we'll just gently start rubbing down. So all this white stuff you can see is the old lacquer coming off. So we'll try and keep it in all the same direction the first time, and then you can cross hatch it, especially when it comes to getting out the scratch marks. Also, be careful not to go too close to the edge or on the edge, because you'll round them off, like this edge here. So you kind of just want to take your time. Don't go too hard. Yeah. So what I think I'll do, I think that'll do for the 240. And then what we'll do, we'll go on to the 400 after that. Get rid of the scratches from the 240, and I think that should be enough to just give us enough of a rough edge on there. So something just to be wary of. Just keep it clean as you're sanding. I'm still going on the 400, and as I've cleaned it, I've noticed that there's that little edge there that's still shiny that needs to be rubbed down. When it's all dusty, I didn't see that, so just ever so often just give it a degrease, wipe down, and look out for things like that. But it's going well. I'm just going to give it a go with the 800, and then I shall be back with you. Right. So you join me back at the end of the 800 grit. So this is the ideal opportunity. This is it. Prep is always a ball ache, as you well know if you've done this before, but it's so worth it. If you skip stages now, it'll come to bite you in the arse later when your job doesn't look that good. So what we can do is actually we'll give it a good wipe down. And with all that dust out of the way, you'll be able to see if there's any nasty deep scratches. It should be nice and smooth to the touch. I don't think we've got any issues there. Probably a little bit shiny there still. And this edge here, this edge is inside the cover anyway, but it's always best just to give that a rough, because any paint that does go on there you don't want to flake off. What I'll do, I think I've still got a few little raised bits there, because whatever you leave now will be picked up in the filler. Sorry, in the primer. So it's always, like I say, it's always good to give it a wipe over and a clean as you go, because you don't want to miss anything. There we go. So that bit of filler there's gone now. Filler, old paint. Okay, so I'll give this a closer look over with a light, and then we should be ready to hit it with some primer. Right, okay, so went over it one last time with 800, got rid of any raised parts or anything that stood out, and then gave it a final degrease. This is where you can use a tack cloth as well, if you've got one. Now we are ready for primer. So with the primer, we're going to go for 2 coats, maybe possibly 3. Leaving it about 10-15 minutes between coats, but you just want to wait for it to flash off, so just let it not dry fully but go dull, and obviously pop on your mask. So which what I'll do now. Okay, so I now sound like a robot. So just test the can off of what you're actually going to spray. Make sure there's no dust around as well on the table or surface that you're going to paint on. And what I've done is I've raised the cover on a can just so you don't get any join marks where it's touching the table. There we go, that's all you're going to need for your first coat. We're going to let that sit for a few minutes. You can use your heat gun as well, just to go over it, just to help speed up the process. Okay, so we're ready for our second coat. So you can go slightly heavier this time. always start off the whatever you're painting and come across. Don't start on, because you can get a build up of paint on the nib and then it squirt all over what you're painting. There we go, that's a second. I probably will give this a third, but what I'll do, I'll crack on and I'll bring you back when we are ready for prepping for paint. Okay, so I gave it 4 coats in the end, actually, just because I wanted to get a nice even cover. And there was a little bit here that just needed a bit of a top up. But yeah, so that's the primer on. Now what we could do, you can use 800 again, but this is a relatively nice coat of primer actually, so it doesn't need a great deal. But if you've got a bit of orange peel, or you can feel some real heavy roughness on there, go with the 8. If not, just 1200, just very lightly go over any rough bits that you've got. Because now this will be the final finish. So that's nice and smooth now. A little bit there. Just don't go crazy, just ever so slightly. I think it's got that. So yeah, there we go. So go over it again if you want. If you don't feel quite brave enough, or you don't fancy it, if you just want, you know, a good enough job that takes you off it, don't worry about necessarily doing this bit. But if you want the best result you can get, it's always best to kind of wet and dry, or wipe down your primer level, or primer coat I should say. Right, okay, so I did actually find some slightly heavier spots, so I did go with the 800, and then I went with the 12. But if you've got a nice smooth coat, just go 12. But like me, if you end up with a few bits you're not happy with, go with 800 grit. So now we are ready for some colour. So we're going to do the same again, probably do 2 or 3 coats. First one like a light dusting, but slightly heavier than the primer, and then again leaving it 10-15 minutes between coats. So I shall pop my mask on. Again, remember to start spraying off what you're not, what you're off, or what you are spraying. So you want nice gentle strokes. Don't stay on one spot for too long. Cover the whole surface. Watch out for raised edges as well, because paint will gather there. So just don't go too heavy. There we go, that's quite a reasonably heavy first coat, but there we go, so that's the first one done. What we'll do now is we'll let that set for 10-15 minutes, hit it with a second, probably a third, and then I'll show you what we're left with after that, and then we should be, fingers crossed, ready for a clear coat. Okay, so that's 4 coats of colour, Causeway Grey. Typically on the 4th coat, the nib clogged slightly, and it led to, you can see little splodges there, which is really disappointing, because it's not gone on too bad. Now, what you can do in this case is you could go over it again with the 1200, and then coat it again. I'm on the fence. I don't know. I mean, I'm not after a showroom finish. I just want it better than what it was, but that cracking and peeling lacquer and filler. So I'm tempted to hit it with the clear coat. But yeah, in this case, if you've got the time, then yeah, absolutely, I would go over that again with the 1200. I'm going to hit it, even though it's splodgy. I think I can just about get away with hitting it with the clear. So got out of focus. No. So yeah. So what I'll do, I will now repeat the process. Again, slightly heavier first coat, 10 to 15 minutes in between. It should only need 2, but I don't know why. Everything's taken an extra coat. So this could be 3 coats. So hopefully you'll draw me back when it's all clear coated. Fingers crossed. Okay, there we go. So it did take about 5 or 6 good layers of lacquer. That's in direct sunlight as well. Just make out the little bits and pieces, but the fleck actually conceals it quite well. So yeah, I'm actually so far quite happy with that. Much better than what it was. So what I'm going to do now, if it's dry enough, I'm going to try and put it straight back on the car. I've had a right touch. It's nice and dry to be able to put it back on. I don't know if it's because of the hot day, but there we go. All back in place. Nice bit of fleck in there. It's a great colour match. This car's minging, but yeah, really happy with that. Even though we had those little dimples, I don't know if I can make it out on there, but they don't really show because of the fleck. But what I will do is I'll give it a polish once it's cured over about 24 hours. But yeah, over the moon with that. In checking that it was all back properly, I went and had a look at the other one, and I didn't even know, it must be recent, I've got bloody lacquer peel on this one, so I'll have to repeat the process on there. But yeah, so it's all back on now. Then the other bit of trim I was talking about is this one. I can't remember the colour off the top of my head, but I've managed to find quite a close one from Halfords when I was in there today getting the sandpaper. So that would probably be the next one or a video soon. But yeah, there we go. Happy with that. There you go, all sorted. I'm really happy with what it cost and the time it took for the result I got. I'm quite happy with that, considering what it was and what it did look like. So yeah, I mean, it was 25 quid's worth of paint, lacquer or clear coat, and primer, 6 quid for some sandpaper, a little bit of degreaser, 3 or 4 hours on a Sunday evening. Jobs are good and really for the result I've got. Ideally, I would have left it off for 24 hours, but me being impatient, wanted it back on the car, standard. But once it's cured, I will give it a polish, maybe cut it back a bit, just to really make it pop. You might have seen that last clip that it was slightly, only ever so slightly duller than the rest of the car. But that will make it really pop when that's done and smooth out any orange peel, which didn't happen actually. I don't know if it's because of the heat, but I didn't get any orange peel. Considering the amount I put on it, I thought I might have got some, but I didn't. So yeah, over the moon with that. If you enjoyed the video, please get a thumbs up. If you've got any questions, please ask away in the comment section. I'm hopefully going to put some hours aside tonight or tomorrow, today being Sunday, and hopefully get back to some of you that I've not got back to for a few days or a week or so. So hopefully I'll put some time aside and get back to you. But yeah, please subscribe if you want to see more videos like this. I have got my eyes out for an old BMW as well, and I'm doing work on the Range Rover. But I am missing tinkering on an old knackered BMW. So space is a bit of a premium, but if I can work it, I can get space and get the car, and hopefully be able to do some old BMW videos as well. So yeah, thanks very much for watching, guys. I really do appreciate your support as always, and thanks for sticking with me. I look forward to seeing you again soon. Take care.